Good morning, all of you. Now, in this session, let us discuss about steps in respiration. In previous session itself, we were discussing that different types of respiratory hormones as well as the respiratory system in human being was discussed. So, now here let us take the steps in, let us discuss about the steps in respiration. What are the steps to take place? Here, first of all, taking the atmospheric oxygen into the lungs, and expels the pulmonary carbon dioxide into environment. This is the first step will be takes place in respiratory process. Next, what will be takes place? Next, exchange of gases. Exchange of gases between lungs and blood. Exchange of the gases means what? From the blood, carbon dioxide will be enters into the lungs. From the blood, carbon dioxide enters into the lungs. From the lungs, oxygen enters into the blood. That is the second step. Next, third part. Transportation of gases means here oxygen transport to tissues, carbon dioxide transport from tissues. Those two things are carried by blood. Is carried by blood. Next, exchange of the gases. Exchange of the gases from the blood into tissues. That's nothing but oxygen and from tissues to blood. That is carbon dioxide. That is the fourth step will be discussed. Next, fifth one. Utilization of oxygen to liberate energy in tissues. These are the five steps which takes place in respiratory process itself. These are very important steps. How, in which way, and what is the use of the gases? All those things were discussed here itself. Now, let us discuss about how all those things are going to be happening in a human being. It's nothing but in our concept they were mentioned as mechanism of breathing in human being. That is, the concept was mentioned to us. Clear? Now, first of all, what are the steps what takes place in breathing? Here, in breathing, two steps were there, or two events are going to be happens during breathing. Means what? The first step is inspiration, and the second step is expiration. The first step is inspiration and the second step is expiration. Inspiration means what? Inspiration means taking into the lungs the atmospheric oxygen. Taking the atmospheric oxygen into the lungs. Taking into the lungs the atmospheric oxygen is nothing but called inspiration. And next, expiration means what? Release out the pulmonary carbon dioxide into atmosphere. That is the meaning of inspiration and expiration. These two things combined together is nothing but called breathing. Here, the inspiration and expiration is mainly happens or performs on the basis of pressure gradients. On the basis of pressure gradient. Means what? Here there is no need of energy. On the basis of pressure gradient itself, the exchange of the gases will be takes place between lungs to atmosphere. Clear? Now, what are the factors more responsible to create the pressure gradient factors? Which one is responsible? Which can responsible for the exchange of the gases? Here, there is an atomic system is there. Mainly, who is responsible for this in the sense a dome-shaped structure which is present below the lungs is called diaphragm. Is one of the organ which is responsible to create the pressure differences and at the same time specialized set of muscles. Specialized set of muscles. What are those muscles? Those muscles are the muscles which were present in between the ribs. The muscles which were present in between the ribs, those are nothing but called external intercostal muscles. External intercostal muscles. Intercostal muscles. And at the same time, internal intercostal muscles. Internal intercostal muscles. The muscles which are present in between the rib cage. Ribs is nothing but called intercostal muscles. If they were present outside, those are nothing but called external intercostal muscles. If they are present within the ribs, is nothing but called internal intercostal muscles. Those two were responsible for to create the pressure gradients. Because of this, the changes can exhibit by sternum and vertebral column. A flat hand bone which is present towards front side is nothing but called sternum, and the back side bone is nothing but called vertebral column. Because of this contraction and relaxation of diaphragm and the special set of muscles can cause the movements in sternum and diaphragm. All those things are makes necessary adjustments. Makes necessary adjustments, where make the necessary adjustments within the thoracic chamber. Within the thoracic chamber or airtight chamber, they can be make the necessary adjustments. So whenever the necessary adjustments was happened at the thoracic chamber region itself, the inspiration and expiration process will be takes place in our body. Means what? Taking the atmospheric oxygen into the lungs, at the same time releasing the pulmonary carbon dioxide into the lungs, into the environment. All those things are going to be happens within the same time itself. One by one, the processes are going to be happens. Now let us discuss all those things, how they can be perform their role for the exchange of gases. All those things let us discuss now itself. Right. Now let us imagine that this is ventral sternum and this is dorsal vertebral column. And next, this is a dome shaped structure, is nothing but called diaphragm. And next, this is pulmonary chamber. That is pulmonary chamber. Now, this is let us consider not inspiration and not expiration. Just let us imagine that it is present in a normal condition. Normal condition it was not present. Normal condition it was not present because always any one of the process means what inspiration process or expiration process any one of the process is going to be performed by our respiratory system, but for your understanding purpose the changes are going to be happens in the pulmonary chamber itself. What are two steps already I disclosed to you? There are two steps or nothing but one is inspiration, and another one is expiration. Expiration. These are the two steps are going to be happens during the breathing process itself. Now let us discuss what are the changes are going to be happens in inspiration process as well as expiration process. Now in this condition already I was mentioned to you two organs which were present in thoracic chamber was responsible for to create the pressure gradients. Pressure gradient in the sense what? Mainly based on the high concentration to low concentration, the movement of the molecules will be takes place. Now, during inspiration process, what will be happen? During inspiration process, the diaphragm gets contracts. The diaphragm gets contracts. Means what? During the condition, the diaphragm is pulled down. Pulls down. And at the same time, during this contraction itself, the internal intercostal muscles, external intercostal muscles, all those things are built up the sternum. Build up the sternum. And in such condition, the sternum can be built up and at the same time ventral column just moves back. In such condition, in pulmonary chamber, the size is increases in anterior posterior axis. The size is increases in anterior posterior axis as well as dorsoventral axis. The size is going to be increases. The pulmonary chamber size is going to be increased. Means let us imagine like this. Sternum. Next. Vertebral column. Okay, next. Diaphragm. See, when compared to this, just for our understanding purpose, we were discussed like this is in normal condition in the sense during inspiration process, what happened in anterior posterior axis. In anterior posterior axis, the pulmonary chamber size was increased. Anterior posterior axis, and at the same time during inspiration process. During inspiration process, the sternum was built up and the vertebral column is pulled back. In such condition, the pulmonary chamber size was increased in dorsoventral axis. So, whenever the pulmonary chamber size was increased, whenever the pulmonary chamber size was increased, there is a pressure differentiation between. There is a pressure differentiation. There is a pressure differentiation between atmosphere and pulmonary chamber itself. Pulmonary chamber itself. So, in such condition, at pulmonary chamber, low concentration is present. In pulmonary chamber, what will be present? Low concentration is present than atmospheric air. Atmospheric air is a high concentration. Atmospheric air is high concentration. What is the mean of the pressure gradient? The mean of the pressure gradient is movement of the molecules from high concentration to low concentration. Means in this condition, because of this pressure gradient, because of the size of the pulmonary chamber is increases, volume increases in the sense automatically pressure is going to be decreased. Volume is indirectly proportional to pressure. Volume is indirectly proportional to pressure. Means volume increased in the sense pressure is going to be decreased. So when compared to atmospheric air, the pressure was decreased in pulmonary chamber. Hence, the atmospheric air will be entered into the pulmonary chamber. The atmospheric air is enters into pulmonary chamber. Here itself, the gaseous exchange takes place because of the structural and functional unit of lungs is nothing but called alveoli. Alright, in such process, the inspiration is going to be happens. Inspiration is going to be happens. Now, let us come to here. This is normal and this is, let us imagine the inspiration process. Now, when compared to expiration process, what will be happen? All these things all becomes to normal state. All these things will becomes to normal state. In the sense what? The diaphragm gets relaxed. The diaphragm gets relaxed as well as the intercostal muscles also gets relaxed. In such condition, the size of the pulmonary chamber gets decreased. Means for example, let us imagine like this. Sternum, diaphragm, vertebral column. So, in such condition, what will be happen? Whenever the diaphragm gets relaxed, came to normal position. So, whenever it came to normal position and external intercostal muscles, internal intercostal muscles, these size of the pulmonary chamber gets decreased. Pulmonary chamber volume was decreased. Whenever volume was decreased, automatically pressure is going to be increased. When compared to atmospheric pressure, pulmonary chamber pressure will be increases because of the diaphragm and intercostal muscles came to normal position. In such condition, the volume gets decreased. When than atmospheric pressure. Hence, the pulmonary carbon dioxide, which is present in the pulmonary chamber itself, will be expels out. So, this is nothing but called expiration process. In that way, here this is automatic system. It was automatic system. Continuously the process is going to be happens in our body itself. And at the same time, in previous itself, whatever the cells are going to be happens in respiratory process, we were discussing. So whenever the carbon dioxide was went out, immediately inspiration process will be takes place. In that process, the carbon oxygen will be enters into the lungs. There itself, from the lungs, oxygen will be enters into the bloodstream. From the bloodstream to tissues, the gases can be transferred. At the tissues, from the blood, the gases will be enters into the tissues. At the tissues, the oxygen is utilized for the respiratory process. We knew that the importance of the respiration is to liberate the energy. That concept, I think so, you might be discussed in +1 14th chapter, respiration in plants. Respiration in plants means what? There, during digestive system itself, the complex molecules, carbohydrates, and break down into simplest molecules is nothing but called sugars. Is glucose molecule. Glucose molecule undergoes glycolysis process as well as Krebs cycle. Glycolysis process and Krebs cycle. In that Krebs cycle, by utilizing one glucose molecule, 36 ATP molecules are going to be liberated. 36 ATP molecules are liberated by using a single glucose molecule. Means what? The oxygen is responsible for the aerobic respiration. That energy will be responsible for the physiological activities which was takes place within the cell itself. For that process, there is a necessary to take the oxygen and transport to the all body parts. Here, how many times a healthy person can breathe? Here, a healthy person can breathe 12 to 16 times per minute. A healthy person can breathe 12 to 16 times per minute. Means what? That much types of breath rate is essential to transport the oxygen to the all body parts. This can be measured by an instrument which is nothing but called spirometer. The breath rate can be measured with spirometer. Breath rate can be measured by spirometer. With the help of spirometer, we can measure the breath rate. A healthy human being can breathe 12 to 16 times per minute. If more than that or less than that in the sense, it's directly indicating that the lungs or body parts were getting disturbance, not working the function properly. That is the indication that you should have to be understand. According to that, you should go for diagnosis. In this way, the mechanism of breathing will be takes place in a human being. With this, we will end of the session. With this, we will be continuing with the next session. Thank you all of you.